VCR Redux will begin in T-minus 5 minutes.
What the fart is VCR Redux?
It's the show where we take movies from the VCR era and bring them back to today.
How do we do that?
Well, we start by talking about a VHS classic, and usually you'll say something like,
I haven't been this uncomfortable since I watched Meatballs 4, Meatballs to the Rescue with my parents. Oh yeah, or you'll say something stupid like,
I wish we lived in a world where the Garbage Pail Kids made as many movies as the Muppets.
but I know you'll always see it through with a positive attitude.
I hate this movie, I hate being here, I hate all of this. Oh, Jamie Kennedy. Oh, well, shit. Well, let's go for this.
He was in Son of Mask. This is genius.
I am not a gamer. I'd rather read books. I'm just
Ian's like the old lady that's like, I got video game monsters, I got video game monsters in here.
As long as we respect the passion and the artistry that went into these films.
You know, obviously they took this movie, it's 93, right? And you're like, what do you want to see in your Mario movie? And they're like, oh, we want it to be grim, we want a lot of death, we want tits and ass.
Oh, and then we start the pitch ideas with modern day sequels like
Weekend at Bernie's 3, Cocaine Mountain.
Sometimes we take it kinda seriously.
I'll watch a Paul Verhoeven alien movie.
oh my gosh, that alien will have more vaginas than anything you've ever seen in your life. Sometimes this Hawaiian shirted fool will pitch something stupid like,
I would take out the virtual reality stuff and just have it be about Jeff Fahey mowing the lawn.
Sometimes the best pitches come from the live chat.
Alex Bonafonte also pitches Grand Theft Starfighter Vice Galaxy.
wait, I thought I had the best pitches.
And what happens at the end of the movie? The ultimate fart. The fart that the warmth goes like all the way down to your socks.
The only rules are, there are no rules. Sometimes we cross over franchises.
Only the truck from Tango and Cash can kill Christine.
And sometimes we travel back in time.
Like 1995 is missing a good Universal Soldier sequel.
But you never know what we're gonna pitch next.
What do you want? Do you want Daniel Stern behind like a muzzled mask? Like,
We all know it should be Pesci behind the mask, and like underneath the mask, you should hear him going like fritter, 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 fritter.
you are so proud of yourself for that one. I can't stand you.
I would also love to see a Charles Bronson version of It's a Wonderful Life.
What?
Direct to DVD.
If you made a shot-for-shot remake of Scarface with Goofy as Al
Goofy in
Pacino, it would be amazing.
God.
Gosh, you need me to be the bad guy.
It's like the worst 1987 Disney movie Disney's ever made. Schlongo, directed by Jim Wynorski.
Like, I would watch a whole bowl of that.
Do the John Holmes story. Add a comedy spin to it.
The Wonderland murders are so funny.
I'd watch it on my mobile.
Something happens and he goes into a coma. He gets like, hit by a car or something. I know this is dark, but like, bear with me. He's got to go on.
Did you just go like Hard to Kill with Ferris Bueller?
I'd watch it on my iPad.
If you want to just like throw in the kitchen sink, I mean, it all works. Like Alien versus Predator versus RoboCop, like if that works. Alien versus Predator versus Terminator, that works.
Alien versus Predator versus Ernest, that works.
That works.
I respect everything you just said. I need David Silver and Terry Silver and the Sloan family all learning the Quicksilver, but they're doing it in Breakin' 3 Hydraulic Boogaloo. And it's underwater. It's gonna be incredible. Eat your fucking shit out, James Cameron. I got the underwater movie you can't touch.
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mr. Toxie Goes to Washington.
My ass would be in the theater tomorrow.
If Harley Quinn gets 7 movies, then Tank Girl should get at least 70.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
I mean, why should we even bother with Look Who's Talking when Air Bud is soaring to new highs?
All I know is I want Danny McBride.
I'd want him doing anything other than writing Halloween movies, honestly. Anything that keeps him away from that fucking job, I'm for it.
Just let him talk out of his butt. I don't care how he does it.
I'd rather not.
Austin Powers doing the Macarena.
That would be the opening credits. Come on.
But we have not yet had Die Hard on a half pipe. What if John McClane Jr. was a pro skateboarder and also an avid machine gun enthusiast? Skater Die Hard.
up, virtual people? Welcome to the 188th episode of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2025. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most complaints, film professor Ian Klink.
Dryland.
Oh, and we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the VCR's favorite champion of Street Fighter II Pop Punk Edition, Steven Zangief Anderson is back on the show.
Hi. Thank you. Good to be back.
Good to have you as always. And making a quick second appearance, she's an actress from the film Game On. The fully nominated Grace Juliana is back on the show.
Grace.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming back on. We are here today to drown out Dennis Hopper, to wash away any chance of fun in the mid-90s, and to kill Kevin Costner's career. That's right, folks. This world needs Waterworld 2, and we're here to give it to you. But before Ian makes a Mad Max comparison, we got a dish on how Waterworld came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course that goes double for you at home and everyone watching the live chat. Was it love at first Laserdisc? Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how Waterworld came into your lives. But Grace, when did you first get Waterworlded?
I think Waterworlded. I think I just saw it on my own when I was a preteen, because I always, for some reason, I thought Kevin Costner was attractive. I don't know why I thought that. And my mom told me
because he is.
He was, because he is. He still is. My mom told me about that movie. She said it was a really good movie. I saw it. I really liked it. Then I found out it was a bomb, but I really liked the movie. Let's just say that. And I'm a fan of Kevin Costner.
It was a bomb solely because at that time, it wound up being the most expensive movie I think ever made.
Yes.
It was.
No, that's true, because I looked it up.
It didn't actually do bad at the box office, but it was so expensive that, technically.
Yeah, I think it cost so much that it had no chance. Because I was actually looking that up, the box office. I was like, oh,
yeah,
it's number one.
It was a no-win scenario. I mean, it really,
It held number one for the first couple weeks, but there's no way you were spending that much money and getting it back on this movie. There's no version of it that like makes a profit. Like we were playing the like recasting game, we were watching it. We're like, what about this guy? What about that guy? Mel Gibson, Kurt Russell. Like, nah, it's like it's dead. You know, we'll get to the nitty gritty of all this. But what about? I feel like I can kind of fill in the blanks a little bit based on the fact that you're the person who showed me this movie when we were kids. But Steve, when did you first get Waterworlded?
And they say you always remember your first. In this case, I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. But weirdly enough, I for some reason I think I've seen this movie probably like 12, 13 times. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just like it's a movie I've seen a lot.
When you said that earlier, I was like, that's shocking. But then I think about like how much you love like the Mummy movies and like those kind of like B-Frage-ish like mid-ish adventure.
It wasn't like it wasn't a love why. It wasn't like, yes, I love this movie. It's not that. It's I don't know if I hate it like you do, but I don't love it either. I've just seen it a bunch of times for some reason.
It was an Anderson family VHS tape, so that sometimes we're just subject to like the tapes that our dads bought, Yeah. I'm really lucky that I got to watch Monster Squad like a bajillion times and Eddie and the Cruisers too. Ian would call that the opposite of luck, though. So, what about Iowa Ian?
Dumbest movie that ever could have possibly been known to man is Eddie and the Cruisers. Aye. But before I go into this though, did you all ever experience this in the 90s? Did every house?
No, I didn't. I was a baby.
Well, that's.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there. Okay, yeah, go on.
All right, geezers. Now we feel old.
But 1990s, you could go to the.
Did you ever go to? But let me ask you: did you ever go to somebody's house and they had like Schindler's List on VHS?
Yes. Yep. Of course. Like movies that like you're looking.
Let me put my Harry Carey glasses back on. Okay, now yes. In the 90s when.
But like, why did everybody have Schindler's List? Like everybody had E.T. and everybody had Schindler's List. But did anybody ever watch Schindler's List? Was anybody ever
isn't it a classic? I mean, I've seen it.
It's an amazing movie, but I can't understand anybody going like, well, it's a Thursday night. you know,
No.
Susan, let's watch Schindler's List. Like
It's not a rewatch movie.
It's
I think
not
it's
a
one of
rewatch
those
movie. Yeah,
I think it's one of those movies though where like everybody knew somebody who probably didn't catch it in the theater and was like, we need to see it.
And then they
Yeah,
just bought it and just
yeah.
collected
Maybe it's just
dust.
a movie you feel guilty for not owning at a certain point. Like I'm thinking about my parents, and like I don't think they were rewatching Mississippi Burning, but they owned it, you know. And it's like the same kind of thing where it's like, you know, there was just like you felt like, oh, it's, you know, movies, we can own movies now, and it's our responsibility to own some of the important ones.
Well,
like
it got me curious of a list one time, and I of like the most VHSs bought on home video. And among them is Speed.
Speed is the ultimate.
Among those is
that's such a
Independence
good one.
Day,
Okay.
Jurassic Park.
Tell me Mrs. Doubtfire is up there.
I think either Mrs. Doubtfire or Uncle Buck is one of those two was on there.
Home Alone probably, right?
Home
That
Alone,
movie.
I think was on
E.T.,
there.
like you said,
but Schindler's List was on there. Schindler's List made a list of like people just bought Schindler's List.
I would think Back to the Future 1. That was
Titanic?
definitely a hot.
Oh, Titanic, the double
Titanic.
VHS of Titanic.
Oh, Jerry McFucking Guire, of course. They made more
I
copies.
still need to see that.
Oh, you really do.
But I know
First
it's
of
a good
all,
one. I also just saw Speed. I think someone mentioned Speed. It is crazy how Keanu Reeves, like in the 90s, he was portrayed as like this surfer, but now he's like cool and like karate. Like it's just, why is it so different?
John
like,
Wick, like
what?
that's not Keanu. Freaked is Keanu. That's
Freaked.
what I need.
I've seen two different Keanus. I'm a big fan. He's a movie star.
Well,
just like
I love Keanu.
Kevin Costner, favorite
This
movie
movie-
stars of mine.
But this movie could have used some Keanu, no doubt about it.
But watch. So my first time though, Waterworld. I got to be honest, it wasn't in the 90s. You know, but
Wait, when did it come out?
It came out in 95, I think.
Oh,
right?
okay.
It was like 95, but I didn't watch it until probably about 10 years ago. I got a DVD of it.
Late.
And I watched it and just realized how awesome the movie really was. Like I really love Waterworld. You know, I usually am the guy that hates the movie, but this episode, I'm gonna praise this movie because
this is your happiest moment since we did Congo or Meatballs.
Genius.
This is for you, buddy. This is for you. Yeah.
But I remember how bad this movie was written about. I mean, Waterworld didn't stand a chance because it was already written about so much before it came out. And I don't think some of you don't even remember this, but Ross Perot went on a huge tangent about this movie. About Kevin Costner peeing at the beginning of the movie. Do you guys remember that?
No, I don't remember how Ross Perot ties into this.
Who's Ross?
She's like, who the fuck is Ross
Ross
Perot?
Perot, Ross Perot
I can't, no more.
Was an independent presidential
candidate for president who came very close to
close,
winning
yeah.
in
He
1992.
came very close to winning. I can't imagine that. An independent.
But he was this
I
weird
know,
little
it was,
southern
actually,
man.
it really did.
It was just the time where there was an appetite for change and something fresh and new, and he captured it for a minute. But he was this weird little popcorn fart of a guy from Texas who was like, basically, and he was a walking SNL parody. Like,
he always talked about himself in the third person.
He
He
did
would
not
always be like
help
Ross
himself.
Perot.
Oh, that was Bob Dole, I think.
Oh, it was Bob Dole.
God,
you're right,
the
that was Bob
90s
Dole.
were so
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, maybe
the
it was
90s,
Bob Dole.
dude.
Maybe it was Bob Dole who did it. One of those guys was just freaking
Could have been
out.
either. They both ran in '96.
Tom Hanks has been pissing in every movie he starred in.
I
since the
know,
80s.
but they get
And who
mad
cares?
about. But so
And he got
I
robbed
remember
again.
though about like, you know,
because he drank it is what it is.
and around the 90s is when I was getting into the idea of movies and wanting to be a filmmaker, and so I really started paying attention and just hearing about how bad this movie was, and it's like everybody hated it, but I did have an action figure of the villain with the long hair. And he kind of looks like
the guy who thought he was in like
You
a
did not.
swashbuckling
You
Disney
Yes, I
movie.
did.
No.
Yes, I
No
did.
way. Action figures for
way.
this movie?
I did. They had action figures for this movie, and he was always my Kurt Russell when I would reenact Escape from New York because he had the Kurt Russell long hair as a toy.
So let me ask you a
What
question.
fucking Kentucky Fried Back Alley did you
Look it
buy?
up.
What van did
That's
you
it.
buy a
That's
Waterworld
it.
action figure
Wait,
out
were
of?
they
Like,
were they giving those out in like McDonald's, like the Happy Meal?
It was KB
No.
Toy Store, people. KB.
This is a movie where Kevin Costner
there was a
starts out
weird
drinking his
guy
own
trying to
piss
lure
and then
you
tries
into a
to
barn
sell,
somewhere.
No, I'm
Yeah,
pulling
sell
it.
2 women to another psychotic person in the ocean.
No,
Like,
I'm-
like
yeah,
and they
that
made
part-
action figures.
Yeah, he did try to sell women. I'm like, not cool.
He's like, we should really murder this little girl. You're all, you
Yeah.
know, like
there
it'll
it
be
is.
better for
Oh,
the 2
here
of
it
us.
is. All right, you little punks.
He says
So
the
what was-
villain too. Not
so did
even
they
Kevin
sell-
Costner, but
This
the
was-
villain.
Oh no!
No, we
Hold
get
it
your
up to your face. Hold it
background.
up to your face.
There it is. There he is. That's
What
the
the
guy I
fuck?
had.
That's
That-
insane.
It was the villain guy.
What
So-
even is this world?
Kevin Costner
still
doesn't have a
it's
name
still
in this
my
movie.
action
Did they sell an
collection.
action figure of
Oh,
what did it
yeah.
say on the box?
I'm sure they
It was
did.
a Waterworld guy. I can't remember his name, but it was
Fucking
Nord. Nord was his name with a firing bazooka.
Ugh, I want the Tin Cup action figure. I can't believe we still haven't done Tin Cup and we're doing Waterworld.
Because it's Tin Cup.
All
But
right, it's a fucking masterpiece. But what were we gonna say, Ian? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
I
cut
was
you
just
off.
gonna say. I mean, that was like that action figure was what I remembered the most. But then seeing it years later, and even now though, what's fascinating is I show Waterworld to my class when I do my history of film. I show it for the '90s because this.
You're a sick man.
No,
That's why they haven't given you tenure yet. They're looking at your
This is
curriculum
a
and thinking
really
like,
good-
what type of
Ian, listen.
Shut
Chris
your
gives
dirty
me-
mouth.
Sorry.
Secondly, this movie is like the epitome of the '90s. Action Oscar-winning star, complete action. Like it should have worked on all cylinders. A major studio backing it, Universal logo. It should have worked.
But wait, maybe it would work now because now
do
we
think it would.
have $50 million movies. I mean, the whole talk is maybe we shouldn't because independent movies are making their way up there, thank God. But maybe now that
Well-
movie could work.
Well,
I
now
agree.
no studio in the world would be dumb enough to give a director the opportunity to try to build a
City on the
city in the
ocean.
middle of the ocean and then try to shoot there every day.
Well, now you
whatever,
CG
like, yeah.
that shit, obviously, or you
Right.
Yeah.
AI it scarily.
The reason why this
enough.
movie cost so much is because that giant metal
Floating
arena in
city.
the ocean or whatever kept getting
Well,
taken
why
away by
did
the
they
current.
do what Titanic did? Didn't Titanic just have like a big pool? Did anyone
Yeah.
ever look that up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
why?
because,
I don't know
because the
why they didn't do
director and Kevin Costner wanted
I mean,
it to
yeah,
be
you're
as
talking
authentic as possible. You know, for
Kevin
their-
Costner and Kevin Reynolds on one hand, then you have James Cameron, who's very much a pioneer in like visual effects and very much a CG pioneer with movies like T2, obviously in the
Yeah, these
Abyss.
guys just wanted to throw their weight
So-
around and make and do something that
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
I am so lost for words every time I watch this movie,
but
and I
they
think that's
had
only
to-
been twice in my life.
But think about it though. It makes sense though. Robin Hood, huge hit. Dance with Wolves, Oscar-winning movie.
No, I get
they
it,
were at
yeah.
the-
I
they were at-
hate.
They were at the like epoch of their stardom. These guys, so it made sense to throw all this.
Yeah, I think it did make sense.
At a time where science fiction was still kind of making this little bit of a, resurgence, and it was kind of a western, but on water, and it
was Western on water.
It's 100% a
on
western.
ice.
So it's
Oh,
funny you
you're-
brought up Keanu Reeves before, right? So around the same time you were talking about Robin Hood. So yeah, just to put it into perspective, around that time Keanu would have done Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Yeah,
and not being
I
able
love
to
that
do
movie.
not being able to do an accent whatsoever. They were like, fuck it, keep going,
Yeah.
And with him, he does Robin Hood. Famously, Robin Hood is famously takes place in England, and everyone would be English, British. And Kevin Costner comes in, is like, can't do accents. They're like, no problem, Kev. You're all good. You're the only
We
one.
didn't care. We didn't care. That's the beauty of it. None of you ever really cared when you watched it when you were 5.
I
Right,
think
'cause
we
I
we're
was
care now.
7.
You didn't care.
I was 7 when that came out, and I'll admit I did not care then, but I also didn't care about the movie because it was like the 50,000th Robin Hood retelling that I had seen.
Oh man,
and,
I still remember renting that. No,
you
this-
know,
this
Alan
is-
Rickman's good. Other than that, but at any rate, we should get to the live chat and see the people that we really owe our thanks to, the people that tuned in for our pitches on Waterworld 2 tonight. Let's see who's in the live chat. We got Robert Copeland, Angie Saunders, the mashup genius, Monica Thyman, our favorite Swede from across the pond, Oscar Toronzo, Whiskey 41, the great Alex Bonafonte, Caitlin Altman, America's Next Top Model, Cobra Kai Never Dies, our good friend Joanne, Mikey Riffraff, the other mashup genius, and Michael Ricci in the chat, our favorite location scout. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Michael was almost on this episode. We had such a mix-up of things, and Andrew was supposed to come on, who Grace's director from Game On, and we love Andrew, we love Michael, we definitely want them both back on the show anytime. But anyway, Robert says, didn't the first movie lose like $1 bazillion? Yes. Well put, the observation. It definitely lost, I think, maybe $1.5 billion. But we'll see if there's a version of it anywhere out there that could ever make money. We'll try and turn that stone over tonight in the second half hour. But Oscar says, Waterworld I saw with my family on the VCR rental with some snacks, and we loved it. Kevin Costner was the man back then. Great cast, great story. It was such a great movie. Good to be back, guys. Thank you so much, Oscar. So great to have you back, buddy. I can't say I share all those sentiments, but I feel comfortable saying that everyone else on the panel does. So I'm going to try not to spoil everyone's fun, but instead to provide a full-rounded alternate viewpoint. Whiskey Forward says, Ian is Karaoke the Bodyguard soundtrack tonight. I don't even know what that means, but I like it.
I love The Bodyguard. Another example of why you give Kevin Costner a blank check and go for it.
Well, Angie Saunders says Dolly sang it better, and she also says, I saw this yesterday, and Kevin is hot, and I loved it. So I'm here for the Kevin Costner is hot stuff.
Kevin
Although
is hot.
I will say I don't think he is at his hottest in this movie. I think maybe it's somewhere between Field of Dreams or Robin Hood, where he's just like extra Americana hot, if you will.
He's
maybe
wet
that's just
the whole time.
I was
It's
gonna
hot.
say.
So I was saying this while we're watching it. I don't think he looks that great wet. Like you look at all the Baywatch guys, Jason Momoa, Hasselhoff,
the hair
they look
was
better wet.
The hair was thinning.
The hair's a little thin.
Yeah, the hair was thinning.
Hair was thinning.
A little
I mean,
thin.
hey,
That's all
it
it is.
happens. It happens, but I'm just saying, there could have been a wet wig. Like
He could have. Yeah, he could have. Yeah, they could have wigged that or something.
You spent all that money on the barge. You can't buy one wig.
If you want this movie, if you want people to be like at sea for 3 hours and then walk away with $1 billion, you need to break out the sexiest big guns you've got. And I was saying this could have used some Brad Pitt or something at the time. Like he was ready for taking a movie like this across the finish line. But also, to be fair enough, a bomb like this could have derailed him, and then maybe we wouldn't have gotten like Seven or Fight Club, and God, that would be awful. So, all right, my first time seeing Waterworld was at this guy's house. Steve, God, we must have been like 6th grade, or yeah, it must have been. And this was just like something you had, like, oh, you want to watch this one? Like, oh,
Was
okay.
this or
Like,
Schindler's
how-
List, right? I think.
Yeah, like, yeah, how bad could it be, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We already watched Schindler's List like 11 times.
You're a
It's something else.
Gotta watch something else. It was this or no, to be real, it was this or a Goofy movie, and I was probably pushing for a Goofy movie for like the 14,000th time. And you're like, no, trust me.
What is happening with that movie now?
First of all,
why is a Goofy movie everywhere now nostalgia thirsting? Like, what is it?
Because people have realized that the world slept on one of the great animated films ever. And that soundtrack is fire. That is the Power Line's the best pop song of the 90s.
With his son, father and son. It was
Timeless.
a strong movie. I liked it.
It's a timeless.
All I know is I need Bruno Mars. I know we talked about this on our episode.
Oh yeah,
Bruno
watch
Mars.
that Goofy movie episode so before Ian does this is like Mickey in the Congo thing. You're obsessed with this one
God,
weird
I love
thing.
Congo. Why do we never talk about
Well,
Congo?
it's another movie from '95. It's a
I actually equated this movie to Congo a little bit earlier when we were watching it.
Congo.
It's a fair comparison. Yeah.
So
they're both these
No,
big
nothing compares to
'95
Congo.
summer movies that like don't really hold up 30 years later, or at least in my
Congo
humble
does.
Oh, I have a '90s movie that we should talk about another time. George of the Jungle with Brendan Fraser.
Oh God, we gotta
So
get
now
Bobby.
you're speaking my language,
saw
Grace.
that.
Okay, because
Yeah.
he's wearing like a rag and
Oh
he
my
looks
God,
hot, and he's got the
so
long
hot.
hair.
Yes,
Yeah.
beef rage. That's peak beef rage. That is like a 90s
And
specimen
we should talk
right
about
there.
that on another episode because that's the first movie I saw him in, and as a little girl, I was like,
Oh, wow.
"That's it,
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
that's
Yeah.
That
it."
is it. Yes.
As
no,
a young,
no
as a
question.
young male adult, I was like, yeah, I get it, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's one of those ones. Yeah. You just have to be fucking blind to not get that.
But Kevin Costner looked like that in Waterworld. I swear to God, I didn't mind the hair.
Kevin Costner's like
I
On
40
thought the
VHS,
acting
you know
was
what it is?
good.
On VHS, the hair looks thicker, but
tan.
DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, you can see the scalp a lot more. And no, I hate to harp on that. It all feels wrong for him. Like the way they did his hair felt wrong. The way he
Well,
looks weird with that
He
tan.
obviously wanted that hair.
No, I know he's in control of this. Yeah,
Yeah.
that weird like thinning mullet, like
Yeah, that was a thinning mullet.
yeah, if
It's
he would have
kinda
like
wild.
just trimmed the
Yeah.
back a little, that
You
would
could tell
have
he
made
was
it
at
a
a
lot
point
different.
in
Yeah.
It's
his
a
life or
full-on
whatever.
mullet.
Yeah, where he was holding on
Yeah.
to what he had left, and the fact alone is he probably didn't think about. Oh,
That's the
shit,
Michael
I'm gonna
Bolton,
be
yeah.
I'm gonna be wet.
The
98%
Michael-
Oh yeah,
of this
Michael
movie.
Bolton. Yeah.
Bolton. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I hate us.
He's got the Michael
the
Bolton at
hell's
sea,
I
but he's got like
Hashtag the Bolton.
but he's got like Robert Redford Leatherface going out in the sun. Like he just
Yeah,
looked like
Leatherface. Yeah, tight skin.
Yeah, he can't handle that kind of like, the way the sun kicks off the fucking water. Like
I've seen people with leather skin. Where? In Florida. It's amazing. Tight.
I mean, it does
Can I
track.
say
He
this?
lives on the ocean.
we send them
you know?
there from
I
New
know.
Jersey. That's how they get there.
Yeah.
from
I've
here.
thought
Yeah.
about this for years. All right.
Mm.
Waterworld, in my opinion, there's an alternate universe out there where there is an amazing science fiction book like Frank Herbert's Dune of Waterworld that everybody loves, and this is the adaptation of that awesome book. That
Ian, can I ask you something? Because like,
Hi, AJ.
okay, as
Is AJ watching?
I'm just
Oh,
I'm a
hey,
little
what's up,
surprised. 'Cause I'm not against this movie either necessarily or whatever. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little curious. As far as like post-apocalyptic movies go, world building is like an essentially like really
yes
kind of key element. They do none of that. This is one of the most. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. It's super meandering. They never pay off much of anything. It doesn't make any sense. None of the plot lines carry. Who tattooed this child?
Well,
Yeah.
And how is
Not
that a
only
map?
that, but like rewatching it at the end of it, you realize that that on that boat that they go on or whatever to get her back, there's like 1,000-something people on that boat. They're trying. He's promised to get to dry land. They go underneath this to paddle. That's how they're making that thing move. So he just goes on there and murders 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, just blows it up.
It's
Just-
like, yeah,
you know,
so what?
They're
this
Oilers.
is
They're
our
Oilers.
protagonist.
They're
who has no
Oilers. They're
name.
capitalists. What do you want? All right.
But-
The point is,
They're the
the
poor
90s.
downtrodden, people that have nowhere else to go.
I know. No,
It's
that's
a
what-
weird,
that's
yeah.
what-
There's
that's
also
what I'm
there's
saying.
so
Like,
much
there's
weirdness.
there's
yeah.
there's a book version of Waterworld that is like a great science fiction epic.
Okay, let me ask
Okay.
you, in this book version, is he still a fucking prick from the get-go who's like, I'm gonna throw this child in the water, and then she's like, no, you won't, and then he's like, okay,
Yeah,
yes,
and then
but in
like
book-
20 minutes later,
but in
he
book
throws the
form-
child in the water.
But in book form, you accept it. In book form, it makes more sense because here's the thing: if there really was, if you really were on Waterworld, okay, everybody would have adapted, right? I mean, our
Right.
skin would be so dark from the
Yeah.
sun, the constant exposure of sunlight on the water.
Yeah, I don't.
I
I
mean,
don't
like,
think there was anyone
So
in this
the
movie.
fact that there's one Muto out of all of the, I mean, no, I mean that's now again that's me playing the. Well,
Yeah, again, that's something that's
Devil's
like
advocate.
never, that's like not really earned, or like they don't really have that much interest in the
That's
fact that
that's
he,
what it
you
is because
know,
they don't pay anything off. You don't pay off any of the relationships.
yeah.
Him and
no- there's
her,
literally-
like the romantic subplot or whatever is very whatever. You don't buy
That's why I
that.
think Grace kind of made a good point. If
Mm.
Waterworld was made today,
Yeah, they
or
care
if
about
it
the
was made
characters
like
more.
5 years ago,
Yeah.
and it had like, I don't know, like Chris Hemsworth, just
Greg
the
Shepard.
visuals of the movie would be better, and I think it would be a better payoff. Because the one thing I know that's kind of odd is that if all of the ice melted, it wouldn't cover the entire world. I mean, that's just.
Well, it didn't. They still have the top of Mount
That's
Everest.
just-
I
but
guess.
like it wouldn't be as bad. So there would be dry land spots here and there. I think that's where the movie, in a weird way, doesn't work as well
Right.
because I think they would have dry land. The thing is, they need to have more of like there needed to be more of something that they needed.
I also think there's just something I've heard, without going too far down a rabbit hole here. And Steve, you can help reel me in because we watched this video together. Shout out to the great Patrick H. Willems, who I'm going to bastardize and subquote. But he talks about baseball being the best cinematic sport because of the geography of baseball. We understand where first base, we understand where the action is at all times. And I think something happens when you make a movie like that's completely on the water or completely in the desert or completely in the snow, to the sense that you just lose all geography and like you kind of get lost. And it's almost a metaphor for like how these movies, these big giant productions, can kind of get lost and they sort of forget what they're making a little bit. And
I can agree with that, except for Jaws, but
you know, Jaws is great, but they're on land like 90% of the movie.
But also they stay with one location.
Also, there's so much
and the boat's
character
moving in
development
one
in that movie,
direction.
yeah.
They know Spielberg knows where to put the fucking camera so you don't get lost.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, when it's out in the ocean, there's nothing else. You know, like that's another thing.
But
too,
yeah,
is
but
that,
at
like,
least they in Jaws they have all these clever devices. Like the boat is going in one
yeah.
direction and it's towing the fucking things behind, so you kind of always know where. There's always something in the shot to let you know where you are in relation. to
What do you think about like Mad Max? Isn't that in the desert the whole time?
So Fury Road is exactly
True.
what they should have. I mean, obviously you can see what the elements that they took from that and this just by the aesthetic alone. And like the bad guys and how they're, you know, they're not on motorcycles, they're on jet skis and they're whatever. But like that shit's cool. The thing that the Fury Road that did such a better job of that, or like any of those Mad Max movies, is that they heightened this world. They made it super fucking crazy. Like if you're gonna have such a crazy concept as this or whatever, then you have to kind of take it there. But they kind of kept this grounded for a movie called Waterworld.
But they almost I get what you're saying, because they almost do it. I will say this, and I don't give a shat what any of you tell me. Dennis Hopper should have gotten an Academy Award nomination for this.
Oh,
this is in the level.
Come on, man.
This is in the level. This is in the level of pure genius, because he could have taken it to that wild extremeness, but he kind of keeps it grounded in such a funny way.
He kind of needed to take it a little harder.
Well, but I love that he chooses the like. Did I say that? I don't know.
I like the voice he
of my eye.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah.
You know,
the best guy in this movie is that guy that's down below measuring the amount of oil that they have left. That like crazy pale guy who's obviously been down there for years.
I'll give him credit where it's due. That guy is great.
When they drop the thing down there and he's getting hit with the fire, and his last words just like, "Oh, thank God." That's incredible.
I love that. Yeah, that is almost the only thing that is actually properly set up and paid off. So just want to warn you all that Sean Gold has entered the chat in addition to our friend AJ Andrew Jackson, 2O Nation. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And we do have pitches, so where better to start than the chat? Angie Saunders kicking things off, the mashup genius herself with the first pitch. Her pitch: the Mariner leaves to find his tribe of mutants and bring them back to dry land, where they live with the humans from Helen's tribe. Jump forward 50 years. A new threat emerges to the Islanders as new powerful smokers navy shows up on the horizon, led by Tom Hardy as the captain. That is like outstanding studio pitch. I can't imagine anyone that would be disappointed with that. And obviously Tom Hardy fits this kind of movie like a hand in a glove. So well done, Angie. Gold's Code with the pitch, so Ian might want to cover his ears. His pitch: the Mariner discovers dry land, only for it to be controlled by the evil preps. Now he must join the resistance led by Chief Mitchell and make dry land safe for everyone in Waterborne. Oh my God.
Waterborne.
The best airborne spin-off title. That's it. That is a chef's kiss. Stroke of genius, Sean Gold. I don't know how many airborne pitches you've given us now. No, Waterborne is so good. Oh, come on. Mitchell rollerblading on water.
Actual airborne.
It's fantastic.
So his name is the Mariner?
I guess, yeah. Well.
Yeah, wait, that's his name? Okay.
I guess.
I don't know. That's another thing. I really don't like it when characters don't have names in the lead character in a movie. I understand when it's like, you know, the waiter who says we have no blueberries, but when it's the fucking lead character, like, come on. A name might help.
Are they never calling him by a name the whole movie? The whole time?
He's the
They're calling it, wasn't it Fishman piss play.
Oh, okay.
This is why we're went with that. No, he's no. They've never said
Krabby
his name
McFish
once.
sticks.
Oh, that's
Krabby
crazy.
McFish stick. Yeah.
All right.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
So here's where I don't know if this is really a pitch, but the only thing that comes to my mind is a plot line that I think would work. I've studied a lot of westerns. All right, I love westerns. Westerns are great.
I like
Great
westerns.
genre. I mean, they really are. But the great westerns, like the great horror movies, are not dealing with the settings or the location or they're dealing with the people and how the people interact with the world itself, right? A good example of this is always The Walking Dead, right? It's not really about the zombies. It's about, how the people living interact with each other and battle each other. There's a great Western, for me is like Dance with Wolves. I mean, Dance with Wolves is great because it's not about the West. It's about, the history of what we did, taking over the West, what we did to Native Americans, and the interaction between these two groups kind of coming together. To me, what I wish Waterworld could have, and maybe a sequel of Waterworld could be, is in that now that we know there's dry land, what is the better approach of living? Is it living on the water or living on land? And
I mean, Ian, it's living on land.
Yeah, it's on land the whole time. They want to get to land.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's the point.
But now you have this almost religion of living on the water. And how, I mean, that's why, to be honest, one of my favorite parts of Waterworld is the ending where he does not stay on land because he says,
he's a fisherman.
I don't belong here.
No.
And yeah, you can look at it as it's a dumb moment, but I kind of look at it in a very
he's self-aware
intellectual way of you have to know where you belong. You have to know who you are, and how many people have moved to a city because it's a great job and it's a great pay and every life is going to actually be better, but they're there and they just don't fit in well. I could not live in Chicago. I could live in Aurora. I could live in Aurora. I could live in the outskirts. But
only you would pick Aurora.
But okay, but you could live in Chicago. You can't.
But I
live
wouldn't
in
be.
the ocean.
But I wouldn't.
Wait, why? Because of the weather. Now you got to say why.
Why can't you live in the ocean?
I would feel like that. I feel like an outsider. I feel like a
okay.
farm. I feel like a farm boy who is used to my ocean of fields.
You brag about gas station pizza so much that I know you're going to be a farm boy wherever you go, even
gas
at a farm.
Pizza.
Yeah, that's another running theme. Yeah, that's another running theme that demonstrates quality on the likes of Waterworld.
But you know what I'm saying? That like that, I love that moment where he says to her, like, I could say, but I can't. And I do wonder if there's a world, in another movie where, honestly, like I would love to see that.
If they had really sold us the romantic subplot line between the two of them, if you really felt by the end of it that he really genuinely cared for her and that girl, and this could have been like a totally different life for him, but the ocean or showed that the ocean meant anything to him either. He doesn't give a shit about anything in this movie other than, like whatever. But like, I see what you're saying. I agree with you. If it seemed like it was a difficult decision for him to have to make, and then he made that decision, against what like us as the audience would have wanted for him to do, like that would have said something. That would have meant something. I get what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, or there's another idea that I always go back to, and it's an idea that I've thought of for years, and I think I might have pitched it on one of these shows, but say it's generations later, and in this Waterworld 2, everybody's on dry land. They're on this island. This is their life, but they're running out of medicine. They're running out of stuff. Somebody needs to travel, and it's been indoctrinated into these people that the ocean is like the devil. The ocean is, the Poseidon will kill anybody that travels. But in order to save his people, this guy has to go out onto the water, and he has to face Waterworld. He has to face the treaches that are there. He does find mutants now, and they've overtaken this, it's almost like the ocean now could be the world that he has to figure out.
So you're talking about somebody who's now grown up in like a new kind of society on dry land that's way less this post-apocalyptic Mad Max-esque world, and he doesn't know anything about it, and then gets forced out of that home and has to venture out into where these pirates are still doing what they do.
Yeah. And
kinda,
has never seen any of this stuff, doesn't understand how to manage or how to see on a boat, because these years of generation on dry land, they said, if you go on a boat, Poseidon will sink you, and they almost do like a village where they poke holes in boats.
I like the idea that we would revert around and come all the way back around to believing in Poseidon. And
yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
gods, I don't know.
Do the opposite. Do a reverse, where we don't want to stay on dry land. We want to discover what the ocean is. But again, you still have this world where there are people still looking for dry land out there, and now you have this group battling each other for the ideals of no, dry land is the worst thing possible. Dry land takes away your soul. Dry land is and how sci-fi works. You could do some really cool stuff with, capitalism dealing with dirt, and this. I mean, they kind of did that almost in the movie.
Yeah, it's stupid that they have money in this movie.
Yeah, that's so fucking unbelievable that this whole world would just be robbing and killing. Like, you see a person like once every 7 years, and either you kill them or they kill you, and like. But that's, I guess it's just there's a barrier of believability that's a little tough for me in this. But there are pitches, and I will get to some more of them. But I feel like I missed one comment earlier from our favorite Swede from across the pond, Monica Thyman, who says she watches on video with friends growing up. So I didn't want Monica to feel left out. She watches every week, and we love you, Monica. But also some more pitches. Let's see. Whiskey 41 has his pitch. The world is stricken by drought, and those who remain flee to Canada, but suffer at the hands of Steven Seagal's Brown Gold Cartel. This summer, Gravy World. Poutine is not a myth. I've seen it.
Gravy
So I just love this. The Seagal theme. We're going to be coming up on 100 Seagal pitches pretty soon for this show. And yeah, no opportunity to shit on Steven Seagal. I'm all for it. Interestingly enough, him and Van Damme seem to have patched things up, so maybe they could team up for a Waterworld sequel that's got twice the gravy.
Gosh, where's the cyborg version of Waterworld? Like if Masters of the Universe.
Well, I was gonna say that. Yeah, give me the Canon Films version. I really am curious what that, because like as soon as they get to like dry land, I want the beach fight from American Ninja 2. And speaking of, American Ninja and our friends over at Retro Fiend Radio, we are talking to them about doing a special something for you Ninja fans out there. But stay tuned. We're hopefully putting that together for you in the coming weeks. But yeah, no, I definitely want the canon. Like, would it have been Runaway Train? Would it have been Eric Roberts and John Voight making a masterpiece? Like, because this is like, not to get too tangenty again, but I love Dennis Hopper. Like, I love almost everything that man has ever done, except for this and Super Mario Bros. Like, I just love specifically Dennis Hopper in the 80s is incredible, but he had his gems in the 90s too. Like, Speed was a banger for me. But I know there's been love for Dennis Hopper, so I don't want to harp on that too much.
Was he the guy in Speed that
Pop Quiz Hot Shot?
Oh my God, that was him.
Yep.
Yes, I'm looking at his photo now. Yes.
Yeah, another great Oscar performance from that man. But
that one I'll give you.
I'll give you that. Yeah, totally.
Everything he does.
This one. How dare you people?
No. I've seen River's Edge. All right, Fleck in River's Edge is acting fucking circles around this.
But the point is, he does.
Oh, forget your Hoosiers.
I don't think he's bad in this. I'm just, again, like, you know what? It's not that. It's just what I would have liked to have seen from this. It's just a bunch of characters. You know what? I would like to see this movie with Bruce Campbell. Back in the days doing whatever. I want a genuine. I want a genuine dude who's gonna say, especially with the score this movie has.
Oh,
it's like straight out of the Goonies.
But here's the thing.
Give me Waters of Darkness, and I'm so there.
But I think,
100%.
But I think you guys are right. I think that is the problem. Waterworld, it was done tongue in cheek, and I think what probably would have worked better is if it was done. This is a great. Chris and I have talked about this one, and this is a stretch, I know, but not a lot of people have seen this. But No Escape.
Oh, I love No Escape.
Sure.
Yeah.
No Escape.
With
Imagine,
Ray Liotta, yeah, the 90s.
but imagine
No
if you
Escape.
took the people who made No Escape
Gail Ann Hurd.
and they made Waterworld. I think you would have a completely different movie.
It's also the director of Goldeneye. What's it? Martin Davidson?
Apted?
Martin
Campbell. Martin Campbell.
That's it, Martin Campbell. Thank you.
Yeah,
He was certainly
think
know how to
you
do
would have
action in
had
the
a
90s. Yeah.
You would have had a
Yeah.
completely serious action
Yeah.
movie that wasn't.
And it would have come in on budget and on time.
Yes, and I think if they scaled back a bit, that it would have been fine. I think that it's just, I think this is one of those movies where, because it just got so far off the rails, that
Yeah.
everybody just threw in everything that they could. I mean, I love how the guy sounds, but I call him the find him guy who's on the boat, and they just keep showing him, and he's like, find him.
Oh, fine, yes, get them.
I don't know why he sounds.
At one point, he stops and goes, "Somebody kill something." Like, yeah, you know what? I think that they were probably so invested and so like stoked to be working with these giant set pieces and doing all these
Yeah.
things that, like, and figuring out how they're going to do this camera work and how to do whatever else, is that I did probably lost somewhere in translation. They lost the thread of just how disconnected all these characters are, and how they're not giving them enough to do. And we're not having very many heroic moments with our hero, our protagonist or whatever. He very much like.
I love what I have. I love holding Waterworld VHS the way that it is. I love it. But if you had a Ray Fiennes as the hero,
I mean, yeah, this movie's got a lot of like potential to have been a really cool.
Wait, what do you mean? Why are you suggesting somebody else?
well, I'm just saying, like, so if there was a different version out there that was done, like I said, by the No Escape people who made this serious science fiction movie, and you had
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes as the lead, who's doing a Shakespearean hero who
Right.
doesn't, talk as much, but there's
If you're gonna change,
or Dennis or a good villain to me. As weird as it sounds, instead of Dennis Hopper, if you had Rutger Hauer, giving just all the gravitas in this. Instead, though,
I feel like maybe that's a little lateral.
well, but instead we kind of did get almost like the Wild Wild West of ocean movies.
Yes, I agree with that.
okay, yeah,
It's not that Kevin Costner can't do this, or that Kevin Costner would need to be replaced. It's that if you want a straight man like Kevin Costner, who's going to give you like deadpan to camera, like just like the serious actor, like, you know what I mean? Like, he is just he's Tom Cruising it to a degree at how Kevin Costner's.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. But you need then to give his supporting cast. The supporting cast need to fill in that fun, like interesting, like, vibrant,
Oh, that's
weird
interesting.
characters, they need to be, they need to be you can't just.
That's what they tell us for auditions. Because, obviously I'm an actress, I audition. When I get an audition for like a supporting role and it's like very out there and
Mhm.
like a lot busy, that's because the main character is like dry, flat,
Right.
boring. Like they have
And that's
to
like an
have
old
other-
Hollywood trick since forever. They want to use
the
somebody,
best friend
utilize
is
somebody
usually
that
the
you can-
zany fun. Yeah,
that you can project yourself onto, and you can see.
Right.
So if you have your, you can go either way with it. But like, if you have your protagonist as somebody who's just kind of like a blank slate of a little bit, those are the movies that tend to do the biggest box office numbers. Those are the biggest blockbusters. Your Harry Potters and your, like things along those
that's
lines.
true.
Your,
That's a good
like, yeah, and then all this. But the thing with that is all your supporting cast then has to pick up that slack, and they did not have that for this movie. They could have. Again, it's very easy in a post-apocalyptic
You
world.
guys
to have,
didn't think Dennis Hopper did that?
I think he's the only one
Oh, I
carrying
think he did. That's what
any
I'm
bit
saying.
of the weight.
He's the only one. Okay.
But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I think the challenge is that what I think the film needed though
It's more
was for them to
characters
take
like
it so serious. I think they needed to take it more.
I kind
And
of
I don't know
disagree.
I don't know who's a good villain.
More fun. I think we need more fun. And things
Yeah, this
need to
movie's
be
not
earned
having any
more.
fun. That's
This
the
movie didn't feel intellectual enough to not have any fun, and didn't feel fun enough to like not have more intellect. And I didn't mean to be so. That's probably one of the snobbier things I've ever said in the show.
Oh, I love everything that you said because
I don't like that I'm agreeing with Chris as much as I am. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it at all. I love movies. Chris is always the one that like, how do you like that? I'm like, I like everything. And like, I don't not like this movie, but I rewatching it. I just gotta kind of.
But we can all say we're talking about sequels. You guys know if there's ever a sequel, Kevin Costner is gonna do it. He's not gonna get some 20 years younger guy. Like that's not gonna happen.
What are you trying to do?
Listen, they kind of did do a sequel to this. I
Right.
can't believe they
did.
Well, then he was the Fishman, and then they made him the Postman.
The
Isn't that right?
Postman. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
Grace? Have you ever seen The Postman?
No.
Yeah, oh man,
bigger
Mailman in the apocalypse.
Bigger bomb than this one.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
But it's basically Waterworld, but if America if America basically turned into the West again.
Okay.
Right, in the
instead of
future, yeah, it's a future
Tom
sci-fi
Petty is
western.
in it?
Tom Petty's in it?
Yeah.
What? I've never seen the movie. I can't believe Tom Petty's in it. Holy shit!
You guys haven't seen The Postman?
I refuse to watch the fucking Postman. I've been refusing since.
Okay, but this isn't like an official sequel, so.
No, it's not.
sorry.
But I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's called Ian. In my defense, it's called the fucking Postman. Like, come on.
I mean, but
it's not about basketball.
But
it's called the Postman.
Yeah, it was kind of like. It was like somebody said to Kevin Costner, "Hey, I know what you were trying to do. Let's do it, but the opposite. Like, let's do Dry World, and let's see if it works."
Yeah, and this time instead of a fishman, you're a mailman.
And it didn't work?
It didn't work at all.
It
it bombed worse than that. Because Waterworld made its money back, and it actually made a little bit of a profit. It's just it didn't make enough for the studio to really claim this was a big hit.
Right, because they blew so much budget.
blew
But
so much
technically,
money.
this movie, when it came out and what it is
Postman
with who's in
lost.
it, this should have been one of the biggest movies of all time.
Oh, this
Just based off of what we liked at that time.
Waterworld
Chris,
should
is
be
what I'm
on
saying.
everybody's shelf. Along
What
with
people went to the
Schindler's List
theaters
and
for was this, was things like this then. Speed was fucking a huge movie. It's about a dude who gets on a bus and then the bus won't stop. Like this, like
no, okay,
and it's
okay.
incredible. I'm saying, I
Now
love
think about
Speed.
it.
I'm
Now
just
think
saying.
about it. Now you just said the most amazing statement. Where did Speed go wrong? By putting itself on a big fucking boat for the sequel, because boats are not exciting to people. It's like, what if a horse moved in slow motion? We were living in this tech,
What I'm saying is
high
that
tech.
The lines were kind of corny, just saying. But I guess
what,
that's the
Speed?
beauty of it.
yeah, this or
Speed.
Speed.
Yeah,
They
Speed.
were corny.
Oh yeah, the
sure,
lines
yeah.
are great. Speed has what's a quote from Waterworld you remember? I just watched it and I can't remember, but Speed, I remember Pop Quiz Hot Shot. That's fucking great. What do you do?
I just
that
remember,
wildcat,
Sandra Bullock like being young and like frantically driving a bus, but like trying to flirt with Keanu Reeves at the same time. I'm like, girl, like focus on the road.
You know what immediately makes this
Come on, I would flirt with Keanu.
What immediately makes this movie better is if maybe Sandra Bullock's in it. I know they give that woman nothing.
I
to
love
do.
Jean Triplehorn, but yeah, they give her nothing to do.
They give her nothing to do, and somebody like Sandra Bullock could have at least been like, "Well, I'm going to find something to do."
Like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it. See, but again, it's like, would it have made a difference if the comedy or the seriousness? I mean,
No, what this movie needed is for her to die trying to save that child in the beginning of it, and him getting stuck with her, and then the two of them developing this bond of like having no idea what about the other one's
now you're
life
gonna
or
kill
what
the
they.
child. How
I
dare
will say,
Not
in
the
pantheon,
child, the mother. In the
in the
beginning.
pantheon of annoying
The
90s
child
kids.
sacrificed herself. Yeah.
Oh, you
In
basically want the Mandalorian?
Oh, I guess that's what that
That's
is.
kind of
Or
what this is.
Wolf and
This
Cub?
is sort of, yeah.
It
It's
kind
the
of.
never-
I mean, it kind of is Wolf and Cub, or
I don't know
what
what that is.
Well, it's the Japanese movie from the 70s. Lone Wolf and Cub, where it's a samurai has a baby in a basket. and travels around. That's literally what the Mandalorian ripped off. I mean,
Okay.
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look it up. It's fascinating.
Well, thank you for our daily dose of pretentious film knowledge.
So as a sequel, I'm curious, Grace, what would you think? Where would you
Yeah.
take? Where would you take this for part 2?
I mean, it's called Waterworld. I want to see them on the water. I know the whole point was them getting to dry land, but since Kevin Costner kind of stayed in the water,
You're 1,000% right. Yes.
I just want to see Kevin Costner in the water fighting people. That's it. I need to think more. I need to think more of a good statement, but that's all I could say right now.
Chris, who's the Kickboxer 3 guy?
Sasha Mitchell. Oh, I love
want
it.
the Sasha Mitchell version of
That's a good
Waterworld
one.
2.
I want like the
I want the 1998 direct-to-video from
you guys are requesting weird shit. You're like can film
give me
Sasha
the time
Mitchell.
machine. Yes.
I think I've got it. Like Kevin Costner has his own world, like his own city on the water. He's the leader of it. He has people under him, and it gets attacked by mobsters, like Italian American mobsters on the water. They try to take over, and Kevin Costner and them fight.
Oh, holy gabagool. I love this. I
Let's
love
add
it.
some mafia to it.
We got mobsters, and we get some sharks in there, and
let's
it's
get
like
some
making
sharks.
all my dreams come true.
There's a new breed of animal called water buffalo. Where
That's
it's
what they
literally
did.
buffaloes in the water.
So if it's been long enough for him to adapt or whatever to like, shouldn't we be getting some wild sea creatures in this shit?
Yeah,
the entire world's
yes,
ocean.
yes.
Like we should be getting some crazy.
You got that
shit.
little weird fish thing where he eats it and you don't really see
Yeah,
it.
for a second, yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
that was dope when he killed that big
I
ass
loved it,
fish,
yeah.
and then he put it on the fryer.
Yeah.
The woman and the daughter, like,
And I don't care.
that made me
everybody
want to
who
eat
watched-
fish. I'm like, whoa, that's.
I was gonna just say I swear to God,
did
every
look
time I
good.
watch that, I want to eat something. Like it looks good, whatever they put on that fryer. Like I want to go eat something after that.
That must have been fish from the supermarket.
They look good.
I am now obsessed with the idea that the Italian mafia has survived and is like still alive in this water world.
Right.
Like I know that's it. That is it. That is my way in. I
I don't
didn't
know
think
why,
we would
but I
actually
feel-
find a way into this that I would be like so excited
Oh my
for.
God,
but
thank
that's the
you.
one. Like
Well,
give,
but I
make
imagine
Richard
it's like-
Grieco. Oh, Richard Grieco's
Yeah,
the villain.
Richard
Oh,
Grieco.
Stop trying
Grieco's
to
the
make that
villain.
man a thing. Stop it. It didn't work. Just stop it.
Leave
Booger
the poor
is
guy
life.
alone, Chris.
It
Leave him
was-
alone.
No, Grieco is life, and I celebrate
Here's the
Grieco.
problem. When Grace
just
said
like,
that, all I can think of is the bad Peter Sellers mafia guy from like the Pink Panther. Like that's who I imagine. You know, just the most cliche looking.
I do want someone cliche with guns, but like on the water, but with like perfect hair. Like, why is your hair so perfect? You're living on the water. Like,
No,
I
that's
kind of want it
Richard
to be like
Grieco.
a joke.
I like that.
Oh, that would be
That's
great. Yeah, like
The thing about this is that like everyone, that one guy that was, I mean, obviously they, again, not having any fun with it, they made him like a pedophile rapist or whatever, you know, like that crazy guy that they,
Kim
Oh,
Coates?
Kim
that they
Coates,
have-
yeah, Kim
that they have
Coates.
come onto the boat.
Yeah,
But,
that
Oh
scene,
yeah,
Jesus
that
Christ.
was so
It's
epic.
terrible.
What the F was that
They
about?
needed
So
to
like
cut that
essentially
fucking
though,
scene
you
out.
would assume that a lot of
Hey,
people, in this apocalypse would be out of their goddamn minds. Like this
Yeah.
would be the
Oh, yeah.
craziest apocalypse we could ever fathom dealing with.
Oh, you
like,
guys,
so-
guys. Okay.
what's up?
There is a forgotten somewhere again in my alternate universes.
Mhm.
There is a version of this. I don't know what the title is, but Leslie Nielsen
Yes.
Oh God, yes, with the long hair.
with the
and the
long,
oh
hair.
yes, oh
No.
totally, yes. The Zucker brothers version. Oh,
I'm
take
not trying to
my
make this a
money.
joke here. I'm trying to make this like legit.
I know, but I want my version with Leslie Nielsen.
Okay.
I love that you got like gabagool on the water, but you're like, I'm dead ass serious though. It's not a joke. I'm not playing around here. This is so good. This is
I'm
so
trying to
good.
get an Academy Award for what I just said.
You're
Okay.
Chris, like,
I
I
don't
want
need
that
a
out. I want that
jokester.
sea city. That's impossible to say. Rebuilt.
that's
I want it
good.
back out in the ocean.
Sea City.
Sea,
Water.
sea city. Water.
I want Pacino and De Niro.
How
It's gonna
dare-
be fucking great. Scorsese directs. Oh, I'm there
Just
for all.
Leslie
of this.
Nielsen, just oh god, Leslie Nielsen
And-
out there, just
No, you know what?
Oh,
Who
I'm not
could
a
direct
mutant.
this? Like maybe Robert
You're a
Rodriguez.
mutant.
Give me some action. I want
Okay.
action. I
Oh
want
yeah.
people flying in the air. I want some
Yes.
blood.
Now Antonio Banderas could have led this, and Robert Rodriguez could have directed, and that would have been
that would
just
be cool.
Beautiful.
I
perfectly
still
on
want
board.
Kevin,
Beautiful.
but yeah, Antonio could be like his little sidekick.
Sure.
So everybody say his little side dish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Side dish. I'll have him as my side dish.
Antonio is main dish material, folks. He's
Yeah, he is,
entree worthy.
he
I
is.
just
He
want to put some
absolutely
respect
is.
on his name, folks.
No, instead of I mean, he could be, at this point, he could have turned over a new leaf so far. They could have inspired him to such a point, or instead of like him maybe like leading a different community needs to reach out to him, and he's been with other people who are, I don't know, maybe they're not all mutant fishman people or whatever either, but maybe they are particularly skilled set of pirates where he's gotten now friends and people that are with him, and they're helping people out to get to this dry land or whatever. You know, like something along those lines.
I mean, it's class of mutant high. I'm there for that. If that's
That's a
like,
good
if we can do
movie.
that.
It's not at all what I said, but yeah.
All
right.
Yeah.
If it's something else entirely that doesn't make any sense, yeah.
Well,
I
you
also
said there was
want
mutants.
that girl who's now a woman. She was in Napoleon Dynamite. Like I
Right,
want her to be back with Kevin Costner. I think that would be dope.
All right, hear me out.
Okay.
No.
Hear me out. Muppet World.
Muppet
yes,
Treasure Island.
yes.
What do you want?
No,
This is
yeah.
not a kid movie.
But
I'm with it.
Everyone's a Muppet.
Just even if it's a picture book where, you know, like from the 80s where they like made picture books where it's just the Muppets standing still and it looked like it was a movie. Come on, you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
What are you pitching right now?
What
I'm
is this?
pitching a Muppet version of Waterworld, but it's like there was okay, I swear to God, they used to do this. It was like the Muppets would be like positioned and they would tell a story but with like pictures.
In a movie, are you pitching the sequel as Waterworld 2 as a
I
child's
mean, I do like
picture
the
book?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay. Like E.T. the picture book with Michael Jackson like hugging
dive,
Kevin
but
Costner.
It's a deep dive, but we're in Waterworld. What do you want from me?
Well, I mean, the budget would be substantially less.
I don't know. I got
Dude,
lost.
Grace had Mafia, guys. Why can't I have Muppets? Like,
Well, because I'm trying to make this an Oscar award-winning hit.
so am I with Kermit.
I'll tell you what. If we split the difference, what if you have Joe Pesci for the Mafia and you have Muppets for the Muppet, and it's just put Joe Pesci and Muppets in any movie and it's a hit. I know that.
What
And then
if
you add
everyone in this
water?
movie,
Yeah.
everyone in this movie were all Muppets except for Kevin Costner, and you didn't change a single line of dialogue?
It would be better. It would be a much.
It would be
better
the
movie.
most confusing, like,
I would love it.
like
I would love it.
insane movie anyone's ever like an
I would
attempted
love
to.
it.
Yeah.
I
He
would
has
actually
an
love it.
Oscar, right? Kevin Costner.
He's got.
He has to. Yeah, he has to.
So-
He's done. Yeah.
I would. Oh my God, I sound so dumb. I'm
Oh,
like,
Dances with
how
Wolves.
many
No,
he has?
Not
Yeah,
for
Dances
acting,
with Wolves has.
not
Dances
for
with Wolves,
acting,
yeah.
for directing and producing.
He doesn't have one for acting.
No, he does not. Nope.
Oh.
I don't even think he was nominated for Dances with Wolves.
I mean, I'll
Really?
tell you what.
He
He
wasn't
is
nominated.
he is the level of actor that when I watch Man of Steel, I believe that he thinks his son should let a bus full of kids die. So that's to be said for the quality of his acting.
Oh my God.
That's the truth. That's man. I'm just quoting Man of Steel. Like maybe should I let those kids die? He goes maybe. I just think that's a ridiculous line
did say
choice.
that.
It's weird. It's weird writing. I'd like to poke a little.
I'm trying to think
fun.
of what else he might have been. He would have been in that would have been like
Wait,
Oscar
well, now
Beatty.
I gotta
Oh,
look it up.
No Way Out. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are a little bit past time. But I think we came up with some good stuff. Short of, the Anthony Michael Hall Out of Bounds version of Waterworld that I didn't get to pitch, or the
You
Patrick
are the
Dempsey
worst
version.
person on this planet.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about Out of Bounds. How dare you?
I
Even
talk
his
about it almost
fans-
every day of my life.
Even his fans don't bring up Out of Bounds. Although
River's
that is
Edge
an Iowa
and
movie.
Out of Bounds need to be remembered and
That is an
celebrated.
action Iowa movie, but there's no gas station.
Action Iowa. Someday we'll have to write the ultimate Iowa action movie, whatever that is. I'll do it for you, sir.
Corn.
So before-
there it is, Corn World. There is Corn World with Kevin Costner.
Well, Angie is pitching Weed World in the
You
chat,
guys
and
were
I'm all for
wrong.
this.
He does have one Best Oscar.
For what?
Best actor
Yeah, I meant Best Actor, 1991.
for Dances with Wolves.
Hold on.
It must be. Yeah, it's got to be. It's not for fucking Robin Hood.
Does
I know
Kevin
that.
Costner have a Best Actor?
It's for Waterworld. No, I think it's
4 years before it came out.
It was
We're like,
for
we
the
know it's gonna be
Postman.
great.
This
Yeah,
is how
it's,
much we believe
the
in
lifetime achievement award.
Was it Field
Well,
of
while you look it up,
Dreams?
I gotta say there.
Oh, Field of Dreams might have been it, right? That's a
I don't
Oscar
think
beating movie.
maybe. I mean,
I just swear he's never been nominated.
that's
think.
1989
That's
though,
crazy.
so that wouldn't have
Yeah.
been 91. That's a summer '89 movie. I love Field of Dreams. I think
He just
that's
feels like a
Bodyguard?
guy that should have like 11 Oscars.
no, that's
for his job.
93. Yeah, he
Bodyguard?
was. Yeah, that's 93. But I will say a cute little follow up on the Steven Seagal pitch from before. Whiskey 41 saying Rucker Hauer's line, "We all fall like gravy in the rain."
Oh.
I just think that's
mind.
beautiful poetry.
Love it.
And Whiskey also says, "I'm down for the all-female Skinamax Waterworld directed by Andy Sidaris." I'm
Good
so down for
gosh.
that. I love Andy Sidaris. I also am down for the Nico Mastorakis version. So give me that like fucking ASAP, please. All the 80s schlock versions I'm here for. But before we wrap it up, because I think we actually did a pretty good job with Waterworld, especially with the Mafia.
Thank
Cement
you.
Boots.
And he was nominated, didn't win.
For which one?
Dances, right?
For
Dances with
Dances?
Yes,
Wolves.
Dances.
Yeah.
Oh, he was nominated. Okay. I didn't think he was nominated. Okay. Yeah.
So before we wrap it up, Grace, I know Game On just had a premiere, right? What can you tell the people at
no,
home?
not
Yeah.
Game On. So
Not Game On, okay.
Game On Peekaboo is my short film with Andrew AJ Jackson. I think he's in the audience, my director, and one of my best friends. He was supposed to be here tonight. But anyway, we are putting that movie into film festivals. We were nominated for 2 awards at the New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. And we're currently still submitting to film festivals. So any of you guys go to film festivals, specifically horror ones in the New York tri-state area, if we get in, we will be there. Last week, we had our premiere for our feature film, Red Night Special, Red Rising. It's funny, I said mafia. I play the leader of a drug cartel in it.
Awesome.
man, that's so
Totally
cool.
different from me. So it's a lot of fun. I can't wait for you guys to see it. It will be out on streaming. And I do think we will have another screening in the tri-state area. So I'll let you 3 know.
Oh
yeah,
man,
definitely.
that's so
That
cool.
definitely
I'm
great.
so there. Yeah, 100%. That's awesome.
you.
Well, very, very cool. Ian, anything going on in your corner of the world? Any articles coming out?
Yeah, just released the B Movie Challenge article for a just stupendous, horrific movie that I can't even remember because I remember the one I just wrote today. but
You
what
can't even
one-
Sounds
remember the
great.
shit you. It sounds amazing. Yeah.
I
Well,
can't
while you look
remember
that
what-
up,
You go
oh,
on.
I do. Okay, it was for the Corpse Eaters, a movie that is so bad that they had to actually, when the movie was so gross, they cut to a college professor barfing in a bag.
from now on, I'm gonna say I'm so hungry I could eat a corpse instead of I could eat a horse.
There you go. So
I like
yes,
that corpse. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I like that.
But read the article. Don't watch the movie.
I love you shitting on cinema. The film teacher. Don't do the homework, folks. Just read my shit. Well, before we say goodnight, then also it was brought to my attention that we should be reminding people to follow us on social media.
Yeah,
So
we should.
again,
Absolutely,
you guys, what are
please.
your handles? Where can people find you all? Steve, Ian, Grace.
It's a good question. You guys
You can
go.
yeah, you can find,
Okay.
yeah, you can find me on Instagram, klink.ian.
My Instagram is Grace__Juliana__. I wrote it in the chat.
Well, in case you forget that, at least you got the chat backing you up there. And of course, you all know to find me at Pop Culture Punk. And Steve, you can always follow Crash Romeo, right? Unless there's anything else.
Here's what you do. You go to Pop Culture Punk and you look for Crash Anderson. And then
Okay,
you
I
see
got
his
it.
face and you click on the thing.
It's a beautiful
you can-
face.
Because I
And
don't
then
know what any
you-
of my handles are.
And just remember that you too can reach out and touch Steve. So I
Yeah,
guess it's time
yeah.
then for me to say that you Fandom fans might want to tune in next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we pass the third grade the Adam Sandler way for our Billy Madison episode.
Oh,
Billy
jeez.
Madison.
That's right. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead, like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight, Game On, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.